The wind howled through the desolate streets of Blackwood, a town steeped in a history of darkness. The moon was obscured by thick clouds, casting an eerie and foreboding shadow over the town. Blackwood had always been a place where the line between reality and the supernatural blurred, but on this fateful night, that line would be obliterated. Samantha had lived in Blackwood her entire life, and she knew of its unsettling reputation. The townsfolk whispered about things that went bump in the night, and unsettling tales of nightmarish creatures that lurked in the shadows. But Samantha, a pragmatic and skeptical woman, had always dismissed such stories as mere superstition. One night, as Samantha lay in her bed, drifting into a fitful sleep, she was plagued by a vivid and haunting nightmare. She found herself in a pitch-black forest, the trees towering like sinister specters around her. She heard whispers, ghostly voices that seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. Panic welled up inside her as she stumbled through the inky darkness. As she ventured deeper into the woods, the nightmare took a sinister turn. Figures emerged from the shadows, grotesque and twisted beings with eyes that gleamed with malevolence. They reached out to her with long, skeletal fingers, their voices a cacophony of inhuman wails. Samantha's heart pounded in her chest as she desperately tried to escape their grasp. But then, in the distance, she saw a dim light flickering through the trees. With newfound hope, she sprinted toward it, the nightmarish creatures hot on her heels. As she reached the light, she found herself standing in front of an old, decrepit house, its windows boarded up, and its paint peeling away. It emanated an aura of dread. Samantha had no choice but to enter the house, the nightmare closing in around her. Inside, the air was heavy with an otherworldly chill. The walls seemed to pulsate with a sinister energy, and the very floor beneath her felt alive. She climbed the creaking stairs to the second floor, the nightmare creatures just inches away. In a room at the end of the hall, Samantha discovered a dusty, ornate mirror. Her reflection was distorted, her eyes filled with terror. Desperation forced her to reach out and touch the mirror, and in an instant, everything changed. She was no longer in her nightmare but standing in her own bedroom. Relief washed over her, but her heart still raced. Samantha dismissed the experience as a particularly vivid dream, though she couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. She got out of bed and walked to her bathroom, splashing cold water on her face to clear her head. As she looked up into the mirror, she froze. Her reflection didn't match her own movements. It smirked at her with malevolent glee, and its eyes glowed with an eerie, unnatural light. Samantha stumbled backward in horror, but her reflection remained in the mirror, mocking her. In a panic, Samantha fled her bedroom and descended the stairs. The nightmare creatures from her dream now materialized in her home, their grotesque forms lurking in the darkness. They whispered vile promises of torment, their voices like nails on a chalkboard. Samantha's heart pounded as she realized the horrifying truth: her nightmare had followed her into the waking world. The line between dream and reality had been shattered, and the terrors of the night had become all too real. As the nightmarish entities closed in around her, Samantha knew that she was trapped in a living nightmare, one from which there might be no escape. Blackwood's dark secrets had finally caught up with her, and she was left to confront the chilling reality that nightmares could, indeed, come to life.